Well, hey gang, how you doing? Jonathan here for Tailhunter Sportfishing, and it's time once again for the Mexican Minute La Paz video fishing report, covering all of the fishing action for the 2nd of January through the 9th of January 2024 for our Tailhunter Sportfishing fleet. Wherever you are, hope you're doing well. Thanks for checking in. Hope your new year is off to a good start. Thanks for spending time with us. And let's talk about what's been going on. This is going to be kind of short. I'm going to be real honest with you. You know, as you've heard me say before, the months of November to April are usually our off season because it can be very, very windy. Now, in the past couple of weeks, we've had some very nice windows of opportunity open up where the wind slacked, and we had some really, really good fishing. Really surprising fishing, as a matter of fact. We had some species that normally aren't biting during the wintertime. We had some sailfish, had some tuna, dorado, wahoo, roosterfish even during the last couple of weeks, during those few days when the winds weren't blowing. Well, since our last report, winds are back. Much more seasonal. They've been blowing up to maybe 20 mile an hour, 25 mile an hour gusts. As a matter of fact, one day the port captain even shut down the port to all of the boat traffic. Nobody in, nobody out. And I'll tell you what, I'll be real honest with you. We did have a couple of bookings this week. Very unusual. We usually don't have a whole lot of people on the water from November to April because of the winds and because of the rough weather and water and the chances of getting canceled. Well, this week actually had a couple folks book. They knew it was going to be kind of iffy. We had some fishermen who were going to go out, and twice we had to cancel it because it was just way too windy. I wasn't even going to send them out there. No sense in going out there, paying their money, and then just getting bounced around and maybe getting chased back to the beach. Wouldn't even be able to get a line in the water, actually, because it was that rough. And, you know, that's just no fun. So two of them, 2 trips got canceled. We even had some folks that were going to go swim with the whale sharks this week, and on 2 occasions had to cancel them as well because it was just too rough out there and it just wasn't worth it. So we returned their money, and actually some of them are staying a couple extra days. So maybe, just maybe, some windows are going to open up and the winds are going to die down. But as of today, as of the moment I'm doing this, it looks like it's going to be kind of windy, at least for the next couple days. A lot of storms are starting to hit in the United States as well. So very often it's a reflection of what's going on in the States. Remember last wintertime? Had that terrible winter in the U.S. Well, that same thing, those winds and weather translated down in Mexico, Baja, and especially in La Paz. We had a lot of winds. I'd say probably last winter, maybe 70% of the days were really unfishable because it was just too rough, too windy, and extremely cold. Now, when I say cold, it's not like it was snowing or anything like that, but for us, when the temperatures drop into the 60s and 50s and the wind's blowing, it can be very uncomfortable and very cold. So, didn't have anybody on the water, but there are some folks that have to be on the water because they've got to make a living. So, we do have some friends that are commercial fishermen. We have some local friends that are just going out, and they can try to pick, and they can spend just a couple hours on the water and get back in before it gets a little crazy. Well, the commercial fishermen, they got to make a living, got to put food on the table for their families. There's tuna biting. Out of Muertos Bay, some nice chunky 20 to 40 pound yellowfin tuna are hitting at the south end of Cerralvo Island, and they're also hitting further south, maybe about 5 or 6 miles down near Boca de Alamo. Yes, the fish were biting. Yes, there's bait in the water, but it was really, really rough. Even they told me they wouldn't have taken any fishermen out, any sport fishermen out. But, you know, like I said, they had to make a living, and they did. But they did very well on catching some nice tuna. You can see the pictures here. All of the pictures this week are not from our fishermen. They're from our local commercial fishermen friends who were very kind enough to send us some photos for this week. Also, yellowtail also starting to bite. And that's kind of unusual because, well, we've got tuna that are kind of warm water fish, and we've got yellowtail, which are cold water fish. So that tells me the waters are mixing up. This is more typical of this time of the year. We've still got a little bit of warm water hanging in there, but the colder waters are moving in, and that's what's bringing in the yellowtail. These are the first real vanguard of yellowtail that we're seeing, but some nice chunky fish in the 15 to 20, 25 pound class. Again, the commercial guys are fishing for them in areas that they say is very, very rough, very tough to get across the channel. North end of Cerralvo, south end of Cerralvo Island, as well as the north end of Espiritu Santo. A rough ride getting out there, but like I said, you know, they've got to make a living, got to feed the family. So they are telling me there are some fish out there. Our captains are just waiting for some moments when the winds are going to calm down a little bit, so maybe we can get some people out there. But again, not many folks around that are actually in town to go fishing. A lot of them are snowbirds, just enjoying the warmer weather than from wherever they are in Alaska or Canada or Washington or wherever they may be coming from, and they just want to get out on a day or so. So we asked them to give us a range of dates, and so that way I can check and look at the extended forecast to see what days may or may not be better. But what I did want to tell you is we start our shows this week. Now, if you've been following us for the 30-something years we've been in the PAZ, you know that from January to March, we're on the road doing the major hunting and fishing shows around the United States. And we start things this week with a huge show. In fact, it's probably maybe the largest show in the United States. That's the Dallas Safari Club. It's going to be at the Dallas Convention Center. If you're anywhere in the area, if you're anywhere in the country of Texas, this is a great event. Come on down. You can't see everything in a day. It's going to take 2 or 3 days. There's just so much to see. Hunting, firearms, fishing, travel, hiking, RVs, you name it. It's going to be there, and these are they are from some countries I've never even heard of. There are vendors that come not just from the United States, but from all over the world, and it's a great opportunity to check things out. Come and talk to us, and we're going to be there from Thursday to Sunday. That's the 11th through the 14th of January. So we're going to be headed down to Dallas, setting up our booth, and then we'll be there, and we'd love to talk to you. And after that, we're going to head to Reno for the Wild Sheep Show. So I'll send you more information about that. But if you can make it at all to Texas at the Dallas Convention Center this coming week, come down and see us. Anyway, I'm Jonathan for the Mexican Minute. Thanks for checking in. Hope you're doing well. Hope your new year is off to a good start. We'll catch you next week. In the meantime, thanks for spending time with us, and God bless.